Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. We got him. We got him. The morbidly obese man on the four-wheeler who rammed the Cybertruck. We got him. It's finally over. Man on homemade four-wheeler caught purposefully ramming parked Teslas. Yeah, more than one. Here's the video.
That's a woman.
No, that's a guy. That's a guy. That is a man.
He's definitely got a lot of estrogen flowing through his system.
Look at this.
It's just an opinion.
Damn. Look at all that inertia.
I just don't get it, man.
He's giving himself a concussion while he's doing it, too.
So his name was DeMarcayun Cox, and he's been accused of purposely ramming and damaging several Teslas across the city on March 25th. Apparently, he didn't realize they have security cameras when none of these people do. Dude, this is really weird.
People are
stupid.
stupid.
Have people always been this stupid?
Honestly, I really mean this when I say it. This is mental illness. The stuff that you're seeing, these people are mentally ill.
Like just corroded brains from dietary and stress and stuff.
Have people always been this dumb?
No, I think we've got a serious mental health crisis related to drugs and bad food and all kinds of stuff the last decade or two.
You know, this is like 20 years ago. I was hanging out in Chicago, and I was having this like philosophical debate with a friend, and we were talking about like NPCs. This is kind of crazy that it became a meme later on, but like solipsism and things like this. And I was like, dude, there are some people who are just not real. I swear, because either they're just too dumb. And then so I asked random people on the street as we were talking, are you sentient? Not a single person said yes.
Did they say no?
They said no. They all said no. All of them just outright no. And I was like, are you joking? Like, come on. I was expecting for them to be like, yeah. And we were at a college, so it's not like people are going to say, like, people don't know what you mean. No, it's like we were outside of DePaul University. I just genuinely think these people, there's no lights on upstairs.
I guess they call it intelligence for a reason, because it's actually something. Like it isn't everywhere. Like it's a unique phenomenon when someone actually has it.
Do you think that if we asked these people, do you have an inner monologue, they'd all say no? Or would they say, what's that?
They would say, what's that?
Yeah.
I honestly
like you don't know what you don't know. Yeah.
It's like, well, if you don't have one, I'm not sure that telling you would actually help you understand it.
Some people think in like images. Some people think in sounds. Some people think in words. Some people just don't really think, I guess.
I can't imagine thinking.
Some do what the voices tell them to do.
Right. I can visualize things, but I'm constantly like kind of walking around muttering to myself or like thinking out loud, talking to myself. So I can't. So anytime I think ever, it's in words. I can't imagine thinking only in concepts or not having the ability to think in words. And
I think in pictures. Do
you?
I think so.
Like you picture something happening?
When someone's explaining something to me, I'm putting together a little movie in my head. And if there's a gap, I stop them and have to make them fill that in so I can continue the movie and understand it.
That's kind of how it is with me. And then there's like color, which is like warm. Like there's a temperature of color around the imagery happening. Like the jacket will be like a brighter red that's warmer, indicating like a feeling, like an emotion. That's kind of how I visualize.
Do you feel like that's an asset? My sense is that would be an asset when you're doing interviews.
I just thought that's how everybody sees it, because you don't really analyze it yourself until I have heard other people. And clearly my husband doesn't think that way. So when you talk to other people and you realize they're not following the same train of thought as you realize there's...
Does it help you when you're interviewing people?
Probably, because I make people explain things very clearly, and I think that helps.
I think that there's also something called, what is it? What's the word for when people can't visualize things?
Oh, I don't know.
It starts with an A. Aphantasia.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, so I actually think that there's different modes of thinking, and there's probably a bunch of different ones. Some people might think in sounds. They almost hear the sound. You don't literally hear the sound, but you can, I don't know, what's the sound version of visualize, audiolize? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can.
Some people in their minds hear it.
Yeah.
Some people can think almost in text. So there's different ways of thinking. There's like audio, video, conceptual. And then I think what you end up with is a lot of people who have the most rudimentary, they can't visualize anything and there's no inner monologue. There's probably not a lot going on there.
And that inner monologue is important because that's what'll keep you from doing that stupid shit. Like you need to be able to see yourself in the future potentially doing something and questioning it and be like, hold on, There's consequences. Think about all the possible outcomes of that action.
Edit your actions.
That's it. But there's another component in that people who have the ability to not just visualize an image of things, but to imagine what it could be. So there's remembering something, then there's visualizing anything, which allows you to make predictions of the future.
Consequence.
Right. So you are right about this guy can't think ahead, but it's not just that. It's that he doesn't, because he can't, he has no reason for what he's doing. That's why people like us don't go around ramming Teslas.
Oh, that's interesting. The age of reason. Yeah, that's a big deal. Reason wasn't always part of our norm. Like, we kind of are in the age of reason for the most part right now, and there's a big diffusion.
The reason I do, so there's a couple different, there's many different motivations for action. This is pure impulse. Someone told them to be angry. They got angry. They took an action. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just impulse. It's the lowest order of thinking.
That lizard brain, the amygdala.
That's right. Then there's reason. There's reasoning, meaning I think about the action, I visualize what will happen if that action is taken out, and then I decide how to address that circumstance. Sane, rational people do things like start companies and build houses and design trains. Everybody else rams Teslas.
And they also question their purpose. With reason, you're able to think, why am I drawn
Except
to
Sam Cedar. He can't.
He doesn't question his purpose.
He can't even Google the word.
He doesn't believe
Sam.
in free will.
I just had to drag the guy.
Free will? That's a whole other conversation. Free will versus fate. I wonder if
No, he doesn't believe that people have free will. He thinks that people don't actually have free will.
we're all stuck in like an automated system.
He thinks
due
that
to external.
He thinks that that everyone it's kind of predestined depending on your I guess your inclination and whether or not you've had enough food today and stuff.
To be fair, though, I don't care what he thinks because he's not smart enough to Google search basic philosophical concepts. He lacks not just the capability to understand, but the desire to try.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that guy. I was just dragging him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the guy who got arrested for ramming a Tesla and all the rest of them.
So what happened? Did he get charged with?
Yeah, I think he's getting felonies.
I mean, that's right.
What do they give him? Multiple felonies?
No,
I got to be honest. This video is ridiculously funny. I mean, it's dumb.
Is it playing now?
It is playing.
Okay. Oh my god. Well, that's the momentum.
Yo, we're in trouble as a species.
And the homemade four-wheeler, that's pretty cool.
It's homemade.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Wow.
We always have been in trouble as a species.
Oh yeah, weird homemade four-wheeler.
A lawnmower and a bicycle or something there.
Wow.
It's this.
Look at that.
Gosh, how do you even describe it?
A single felony for criminal mischief and failure to identify. These people are so dumb. Bro, Teslas have cameras. I just don't get it, man.
Who doesn't know that now? People are still keying the cars on camera every day.
I don't.
I think I get Christians get mad when I say this, but I'm like, is it just that not every person is ensouled? Like when you have a soul, you're there and you're present in the moment. And if you're not, you're just like milling about, scratching cars.
There's an interface between the brain and the soul, I think. Like the neural activity in the brain is electromagnetic activity, and the soul's probably like your magnetic field or has some connection to that. But then there's that interface between the area around you and the energy field and then the actual matter. And then there can be collusion. There can be like diffraction. There can be all sorts of interference. And that maybe is just genetic from birth. Like it just wasn't built to be able to connect to that external source. Or it's diet. It's the way you were beat when you were a kid and you don't want to ever feel that again. And so you're shut off. Your brain just like your neurons just shrivel up and they aren't awakened. I don't know, man. I mean, it's almost like there's multiple species of hominid, and like,
well, there have been.
There sure have been, and like, why not now? Only in retrospect, maybe we'll measure it and be like, actually, yeah, some species just got it and some didn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what did happen.
Like, imagine, because I wonder if they even thought they were different at the time. Like the Neanderthals and
there's evidence that Neanderthals and Homo sapiens actually did produce some offspring because people from Europe have Neanderthal DNA.
Yeah. And Denisovans were like these big, tall people from North Asia. There were the little people from the Australia.
Were those Homo sapiens or were
Homo? It was called Homo florensis was the little one, and then Denisovan was a hominid also, a big, tall big guys.
Doesn't 23andMe or one of those, they tell you if you have any Neanderthal in you?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but
Well,
they
they're
just got
bankrupt now.
Yeah. They just need all
Are
their
they Chinese
information.
owned or something?
I don't know, but all those DNA samples are up for sale, and
Yep.
Dang it.
they plug those DNA samples and all that medical data into AI, and they are going to have a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, if they were to take every human's medical data, DNA, and current like blood levels and put it into AI, they'd be able to cure any disease overnight.
They don't want that.
The control they do. They can give to themselves.
Yeah.
So the thing right now with all this AI stuff is we're sitting here making pictures of ourselves fighting dragons or whatever. Like I made the kung fu.
You should highlight that tonight too.
The kung fu thing. I tweeted about it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I'll pull it up now, so I can explain to people basically what happened. Let me see if I can find it. There's the bike lock thing. So I tweeted this. I told ChatGPT to make an image of me debating a liberal. I didn't really. I said make him doing kung fu and fighting a demon.
And you just put a picture of your face or something.
Yeah. So when I do the shows, the screenshots we have the OBS program, and I look at the camera, and then I just hit the command for screenshot. So I look at the camera, hit it, grab it, paste it into ChatGPT, and it was just my head. There was nothing else, just that, and it made that. It made that picture, and that's crazy.
So go on to you're talking about the medical now. If they have this.
So once they get access to everybody's medical information, the AI will see things you cannot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be able to correlate weird things where it's like everybody with lupus has low magnesium. You know, that's like pretty overt. We would notice that. We'd be like, hey, we've gone through all of these different charts of people with lupus. We keep finding low magnesium. That's a really obvious thing to find. But what the AI would find is, hey, every time someone has lupus, they're minus 1% magnesium, plus 2% iron, minus 3% vitamin K, plus 4% vitamin D. And it's like that specific combination results in this form of lupus. And then it can create a pill to balance out all of those problems and
It could
cure it
also
overnight.
do behavioral stuff. Like people that are depressed tend to face north 3 hours a day. And we found that if you face south 3 hours a day, your depression lessens by 27% and like control people's behavior and get people to fall into this.
Has known for a decade when you're going to poop.
Yeah.
Not a joke. Not being funny. Facebook already had the data because they've got 1 billion users and the computers easily mapped out that every human takes specific actions which show a likelihood of about to go to the bathroom. So it's like within a certain time of eating, within a certain amount of movement, they got your GPS data. There's a story on it like 8 years ago that Facebook they actually knew when a person would go to the bathroom. That's crazy.
What concerns me is if it starts lying. I mean, without being hyperbolic. Yeah, really. Because if they tell you, hey, we have all your medical data, it's such a tried and trusted service, and then they just give you something that's a little.
So here's another image. I took my screenshot and said to make it anime. You want to pull that up, Serge? I said make
great
it.
one.
This is the latest ChatGPT update. I mean, it's kind of nuts. It's getting the hands right. That's a crazy image.
That's the best AI iteration of you I've seen so far.
It is ridiculous how good things have gotten. Insane. So I took pictures of my buddies, and I uploaded to ChatGPT, and I said make them into anime, and even the background and everything was perfect. It's nuts. It's really crazy to see. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.